And that is evidenced in some of the signs that we have seen there outside the building. So let's go now inside the building. John Roberts is standing by. And John, I understand that this has been delayed, Trump's remarks, by what, 45 minutes?
You know, I don't know if it's that long. I mean, Donald Trump is typically late to these things. Greg, I've seen him as much as an hour or more late. He's participating right now in a VIP reception. It seems that when those protesters broke through the barricade about an hour ago, they did manage to delay the arrival of Trump's motorcade. But when they put them back inside the barricades, the motorcade was able to come through. So Trump is here at the venue. He's just meeting with a few important people because obviously for his campaign, the primary coming up on the 7th of June is going to be extremely important. 172 delegates. But, you know, just about everywhere Trump goes these days, with rare exception, there are a lot of protesters who meet him. Don't forget last night in Orange County, where he had all those protests that turned violent. The police car was damaged, and one Trump supporter got punched in the face after somebody stole his hat. That's a very conservative area of the state of California. Yeah, it's not exactly a bastion of conservatism here in the San Francisco Bay Area, so you can expect that there will be a lot of protesters out there. I saw some postings on Facebook yesterday encouraging people to come out and protest Trump. But I talked to Jim Brulte, who is the chairman of the California Republican Party, earlier today. He said that there is a grand old tradition of protesting Republican candidates. He said Ronald Reagan was protested, Arnold Schwarzenegger was protested, George Bush was protested. So while people may be a little more polarized in terms of their feelings about Donald Trump, certainly it's not the first or the last time that a Republican presidential candidate will be protested in the state of California, Greg.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the people who were there, and you were standing among them inside the Hyatt Regency Hotel. These are GOP leaders, party participants, operatives, activists.
Dave Serrano, do you hear me?
John, can you still hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you, Greg.
So this audience tends to be, from what I've been reading, fairly conservative. Does Trump face some questions from these folks about his conservative bona fides, his electability, which perhaps today he will attempt to address? And do you have any idea as to whether this will be, you know, more of a scripted presentation or, you know, the typical off-the-cuff remarks by Donald Trump?
I think it'll be mostly off-the-cuff remarks. Anytime he speaks to a group like this, it tends to be off-the-cuff. I think it'll be a little less red meat than you saw in Costa Mesa last night because he's speaking to a room where there are a lot of Trump supporters, obviously, particularly given the fact that our latest Fox News poll finds Donald Trump with a 27-point lead here in the Golden State. But there's a lot of people here who are supporting Ted Cruz as well, and there are some supporters of John Kasich. You know, it is a convention, and so you get people who are supporting all types of candidates. I don't necessarily know that Trump will face a lot of questions here. I mean, it's a keynote speech, so he's not going to take questions. But there are obviously a lot of people who are supporting Ted Cruz who don't want to see Donald Trump become the nominee. But Donald Trump does have a large measure of support here in California. Don't forget that this state overwhelmingly is Democratic, so the size of the Republican population isn't particularly huge, even though it's the most populous state in the nation. But you'll find a lot of people here who are very much out for Donald Trump. I was listening to one woman who was talking about getting confronted by the protesters. She was wearing a T-shirt that says boldly on it, "Latinos for the wall." And when she walked by the protesters, she told me she was getting a face full of it from the protesters, but she was defending her position, saying that she is for legal immigration and she is against illegal immigration. So you'll find a variety of opinion here. Even conservatives in California aren't particularly conservative, not like you'll find them in states like Iowa and Indiana and some of the South Carolina and some of the states where there's a heavy evangelical population.